What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we're taking a look at a legend run in the Great League here near the end of the season, featuring a team by MrThammagotcha running a XehrFelrose, Shadow Gligar, and a Clodsire. Now, Clodsire and Feraligatr are going to be two of the hottest things in the new Great League meta in the new season of Max Out. So if you haven't built them already, this is your indication to do so because they're going to be the top, tippity top of the meta. Anyway, we got these battles here submitted by MrThammagotcha, a fellow YouTube content creator. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the pinned comment to his channel. You should go check him out. He's a great creator. And in the meantime, we're going to be enjoying these battles here to the legend run. Let's get into the first game here. We're going to have a Skarmory, Shadow Skarmory on the lead. Very good lead here. The opponent's going to swap into Whiscash. They're playing most likely a Skarmory Mudboy team, both of which you're probably not going to see a whole lot of next season, and I'm okay with that. I'm honestly tired of the whole Mudboy thing. We get some nasty looking lag here, but Tamagotcha's staying in here with the Feraligatr. Honestly, because the Whiscash really does very well into the backline here. Gligar, you could argue that it could do okay, but hello, game? You could argue that Gligar could do okay here, but the deal with the Gligar, unfortunately, is that it has to take super effective damage from the Scald. So now, the Feraligatr does get outpaced here, probably because of the lag wouldn't have to do anything, and really much to do with it. But Tamagotcha's taking this opportunity now to go ahead and overfarm, and the opponent makes a very nice catch on their Lantern. Not a good thing for the rest of this team to see, but it is a Spark Lantern, so that means that this is actually going to be a much better matchup for Clodsire and Gligar. Now, obviously, Tamagotcha didn't know that before he swapped in the Clodsire here, but this gives him a chance to overfarm before going for this Earthquake, and the Water Guns are going to be the norm now for Lantern. You're not going to see as much Spark, and honestly, I hope Lantern just isn't going to be here anyway. Anyway, because it was a Lantern getting one shot, half shot. Boom! We take our chances to dig on Lantern anytime we get them. Now going for the Stone Edges and going for the opponent looking to go for a move here possibly, but it's going to get outpaced by these Stone Edges. Stone Edge here is going to bring the Skarmory critically low, and in comes the Feraligatr, but the opponent catches on the Whiscash, and this is getting real dangerous here because at this HP range, I think that they could have tried. Well, no, you couldn't farm down because the Shadow Claws would have KO'd first probably. So opponent now is going to have their hardest Gligar answer get countered by a Gligar. Both of which, Gligar's another Pokemon that you're not going to see much of next season. Brave Bird almost knocks it out, bro. Hung on by 1 HP. Those Shadow Brave Birds are no joke. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. I am very excited to not see half these Pokemon anymore. It was a good first game. Looking real good into that team. This Feraligatr does very, very strong. A Bastiodon on the lead. Feraligatr does very well. The whole team destroys Bastiodon. And in comes the Shadow Victory Bell. And I think Tamagotcha's getting the idea he can farm down here. Gonna go for the full farm down, but the opponent tries to throw a move. And this allows Tamagotcha to get Switch with his Gligar. And it's going to allow him to land a dig on the Basti. So this is really huge here because the opponent is basically going to have to come in with their third unless they want to eat a dig. And he throws the dig into the Tropius! Oh man, I would definitely not have thrown that dig right away there. Only because you can live a smackdown from the Bastiodon. So there's no real urgency in throwing that move right away. But in comes the Clodsire, and honestly, if you're going to put anything against this Tropius, it has to be the Clodsire because the Feraligatr is just going to get shredded by the Razor Leaves. But Clodsire is now able to do super effective damage with the Stone Edges here. The opponent they're probably going to try to catch a Stone Edge on their Basti, but they just let it go. Never mind, the opponent should have shielded there, but I think they just knew they were going to lose. Good game. Another team that I'll be very glad not to see. Let me know in the comments what your favorite thing that's getting nerfed is next season that you're going to be glad not to see anymore. The opponent doing the 5-head Shadow, or was it? No, it's a regular Venusaur. But Venusaur are really good in the current meta just because of just all the typing advantages that it can get against a lot of things. The opponent calling the bait here, going for an overfarm, and the Aerial Ace is going to get a shield from this Goodra. This is also a really nice chance for the Feraligatr to get a potential farm down here. The opponent could also go for a farm down, but they'd have to give up a second shield to do it. I don't think Tamagotcha's willing to do this. I think that if he's counting correctly, might be able to just... Okay, no, we're going for a full farm down on the Clodsire. Interesting play here by Tamagotcha. I'm very curious to see where this goes. You know, when you're fighting for Legend, is you know, myself and almost all of you who have gotten to a point where you're trying to fight for that next rank up, your new personal best, a Legend run even, you're just like, you're so terrified of what could happen. Just what is this game going to do to make me lose? But in comes the opponent, just absorbs that Earthquake on the Feraligatr, and now the Shadow Feraligatr on Tamagotcha side can just cleanly just farm this down, but also have Ice Beams ready to go for the opponent's Venusaur. If he can bait just one time correctly, the Venusaur will get outpaced because they only had a couple of moves of energy. But he's going to go straight for the Ice Beam here, not caring about it. But I think, honestly, if you just shield once, you might be able to go to the opponent. Lets it go, huh?
Boom!
Oh, the opponent knew it. The opponent and I were on the same brain cell. They both know if he baits, we win. Or if we bait, they only lose kind of gets baiting. I don't know, I had it completely backwards, I guess, but the more lag, okay. We get a Skarmory lead, the opponent probably having another Mud Boy in the back, not willing to swap out of the Skarmory here, maybe trying to get an early shield, but the opponent is the first to shield here. And honestly, it's hard to say, because the Skarmory does so well into the backline, you're very happy to see it here. And I reckon that we have Clodsire probably as the safe swap. The opponent tries to catch a move possibly on the Feraligatr, but Tamagotcha's over farming, knows he can, goes up to a second Hydro Cannon and can easily break another shield off this Feraligatr unless the opponent just wants to let it go. And they actually shield, which is really nice. Now Gligar is going to come in, probably going to be the sacrificial lamb. More frame drops on Android, you love to see it. This is going to hurt a lot though, unfortunately.
Boom!
We don't even get the privilege of seeing the HP bar get depleted. 3, 4, oh, I thought he was going for the full farm down, dude. I thought it was going to happen, but now Feraligatr with energy is looking mighty dangerous, and that's how it's going to be for the next 3 months at least. Shadow Feraligatr getting that farm down, the opponent immediately coming in with that Quagsire, and they're going to have to eat a Hydro Cannon. Clodsire, however, not looking that great into this end game. Can't catch a move. The opponent tries to catch a move instead, but maybe miscounted, or I don't know what was the play there, but maybe they were just off by counts. But now Clodsire is going to be able to get to a move, and if the opponent is going to be able to get a Brave Bird off, I don't know if these, well, actually if the one move from the Quagsire won't be enough, but is this Earthquake going to be enough? The opponent immediately goes for their move. I think the Earthquake's going to be enough for this Quagsire to go down. Aqua Tail or Mud Bomb, neither one are going to be quite enough for a non-Shadow Quagsire. It's the battle of the sires here, and the Clodsire emerges victorious, pulling ahead another win in this next game. All right, let's get into the next battle here. We got the Shadow Gator on the lead versus a Trevenant. You know, you would think this is a bad lead because grass type into water, right? But those Shadow Claws and those Hydro Cannons, they rip through a Trevenant so quick that even Trevenant can't really deal with Feraligatr and is forced to shield. You look at this. The Feraligatr has gotten the Trevenant into less than half HP by this point after this fast move goes through. And they haven't even hardly had to do anything. Now, Tamagotcha was absolutely expecting the opponent to make a catch there. Shout out to Daniel Zanieri, the Quatch. But the opponent did go an extra one late, so he does fire off the energy, and they do successfully get the catch anyway. Now, the Azumarill on the other side here, however, is not going to do too well into this Feraligatr. This is worth a shield to Tamagotcha because his backline is weak to this Azumarill, so he's going to have to go for some overfarm here, and the opponent, I don't know if they're going to be able to, I don't know if they can justify a shield here if they even need to, but Shadow Gator can just mow through Azumarills with shields up. It's actually quite disgusting, to be honest. And they get the full farm down here, and in comes a Crocalor. Hello, Mother of Spice. How have you been today? I appreciate that. Now comes the Clodsire, and Clodsire is pretty much just going to be able to wrap this game up, as the Trevenant is not getting to a move in time. The pacing of the Clodsire getting to the Stone Edge here puts it well ahead, and unfortunately the opponent has to surrender. I love the Crocalor, dude. Nice. Picking up a 5-0 in the first set, just immediately pivoting from 29-01 to 29-72, and we get into the second set here, the final set, as it were. We get the first game with a Feraligatr into a Lantern. Depends on if it has Spark or not. Good to know in the new season, if you have a Shadow Feraligatr, even a regular Feraligatr, has a very positive matchup with shields up into Lantern here with Water Gun. Because as Water Gun's being resisted, Shadow Claws just add up and the Hydro Cannons add up so much quicker. Wait, oh, if this is a Thunderbolt catch, that's going to be insane, dude. Tell me, oh my God, he actually catches the Thunderbolt, dude. What an absolute god. Clodsire doesn't care. Opponents staying in to go for the Surf chip damage, but they do get a cap tie here. Charge attack priority. Lantern does win. I believe it was anyway. But Stone Edge is going to be enough to get the knockout on the Lantern. Does the opponent decide to shield? No, they do not. Now it's going to be up to what's in the back. The opponent has the Altaria. They're looking very strong in this matchup here because they can just simply shield once, farm down, and have a ton of energy, and their energy is going to go in a lot of places. But unfortunately, the opponent not shielding, but they don't need to here, saving 2 shields for what's in the back, but that actually opens up the game for Feraligatr and Gligar to be able to take some, do some work here, I should say. Because the charge moves from Feraligatr and Gligar, despite not being the hardest hitting things right now, they definitely are going to do some damage to the Shadow, or to this Altaria from the Shadow Gator and the Shadow Gligar. The opponent deciding not to shield, and it comes Wiggles, not the Wiggles, bro! Oh no, not the Wiggles! How does he? Oh, does he win? How can he win this game? It's 2-shield Wiggly. How do you win this game? The opponent shields, yes, of course. They're Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is the thing that I wish was getting nerfed into Oblivion next season. Man, I hate that Pokemon in this game. It's just no. But the opponent is gonna have to give up their final shield in order to get this, keep this Wigglytuff alive. And that Feraligator's pretty healthy. Now we're going for an Aerial Ace, looking to get rid of the opponent's Wigglytuff. But does that mean? No, the Feraligator's gonna have to get a move off. Can he get to the move? Gets to the move! Now it's all down to this Altaria matchup. Is this Feraligatr gonna be able to farm down or get to a move before the opponent's Altaria? No, it's not! Altaria just barely surviving long enough to hand Feraligatr a loss. Good game. All right, getting to the next battle. We have a pretty neutral matchup when we have Empoleon versus Feraligatr. I would say the Feraligatr probably has the edge in this matchup due to the neutral Shadow Claw damage and the pacing advantage that it gets over the Empoleon. I would actually not even call this neutral. This is a very positive matchup for the Gator, as now they could one shield and farm down all the way. The opponent running an ABA water team or more here, swapping in their own Feraligatr. Goodness, trainer, what do you do against electric types? I guess there's not really any electric types in the Great League, honestly. Well, I mean, what do you do against Lantern? No, what do you do against Lantern? That's what I need to know. Oh my goodness, Tamagotcha's putting both of his shields into his Feraligatr here, looking to try and make something happen as the backline does not want to see this Feraligatr, but going immediately now into the Clodsire to land a Stone Edge as soon as he gets to it, because the opponent will be able to do a lot of damage with this Hydro Cannon, but it's definitely more important to get rid of this Feraligatr. Never mind, the Feraligatr still paces to another move. This is going to be out of it. Clodsire's gone, man. No more Clodsire. Now what are we going to do? Feraligator's going to have to come in, but he's going to get farmed down. Feraligator's going to get fully farmed down, and Gligar just gets destroyed by the Feraligator. It's a good game. The opponent's team makes no sense, but somehow they're able to make it work, I guess. Oh, not the Wiggles, dude. Not the Wiggles. No, man. Opponent has a Wigglytuff in the lead in the next game, and this is just one of the most drastically terrible leads. Because of that normal typing, we're double resisting those Shadow Claws, and the opponent actually decides to let it go. Maybe Tamagotcha's just saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to call that the opponent probably has a Basti in the back, and I'm going to just try and get this Wigglytuff down a shield. Clodsire's going to come in, and the nice thing about Clodsire in the new season with the buff Poison Sting is that you're able to farm down Wigglytuff with that Poison Fang. Now, the opponent comes in with a Giratina, but they have a shield deficit, and honestly, I think that the Gligar could just go straight dig in this scenario, because the Aerial Ace isn't going to do enough to maybe put this in farm down range. Unless you really want to commit all of your shields to this matchup, the opponent probably just going to go for an Ominous Wind Bait. And I'm sorry, did they safe swap a Giratina? That is hearsay in this house. As that thing gets walled by every Dark and Normal type, I feel like that has got to be one of the riskiest safe swaps I've ever seen. That's even more risky than a Alolan Sandslash or a Bastiodon safe swap, man. That is just... And the opponent must have the Basti because they are dreadfully afraid of this thing. And they decide not to show us that they had Basti, and we know we win. Good game. We take those, we destroy the Basti Wiggly Victors, and we're always happy about it. Another great positive lead in this next game here. Shadow Claw Feraligatr is going to rip through the Deoxys, the opponent going straight for the Psycho Boost. Feraligatr deciding to shield and save the energy rather than firing the move off right away. And in comes a... Huh? I'm sorry, that's a what? Bro, what are we in 2022? Is that Noctowl on my screen? Hello! I haven't seen an Noctowl in, oh my goodness, okay. Well, we're going to Blast from the Past here. Unfortunately, Noctowl being further nerfed into oblivion here, with both Wing Attack and Sky Attack being nerfed yet again next season. So unfortunately, this may very well be the last time you ever see a Noctowl anywhere in PvP, which is kind of a shame because it was a fun Pokemon if it wasn't just so obnoxiously, like, bulky, right? Like, if it didn't have as much bulk as it did, it might have been a little bit more of an enjoyable thing to have in the meta, but the bulk of Noctowl almost allowed it to just do terrible things. Now, the opponent has a Sableye here, and Sableye gonna not be able to pace before the Earthquake, or they're looking to go for extra energy. I couldn't tell if that was 5 or 6, but Earthquake's gonna do a lot of damage here, and honestly, this game is pretty much won as the Deoxys really does not have anywhere to go against this team. As it really struggles with the ground types, given that its damage is typically via Thunderbolt and Psycho Boost. It has to debuff itself here, and now we can just go for the farm down, and the opponent looking to make a swap into their Deoxys to try to make a play, bank the energy for later. I think Feraligatr wins charge attack priority over the Sableye, though. I don't actually know. I haven't looked that matchup at. I haven't actually played that matchup out at all, to be honest. Psycho Boost gonna do a lot of damage, but the debuff here is gonna mean that the opponent doesn't have the ability to hit back with anything, getting farmed down. We can even just let this go. The opponent throws their energy, and the Gligar will get the farm down here, and that's gonna take another win here for Tamagotcha. No, he gets to a move. Wait a minute. Hold on, the Sableye is cooking, but there was a shield in play for Tamagotcha's Gligar. He's gonna be able to farm down and take that win, and that's gonna do it for that game. Getting into the next game here, and we got Feraligatr against a Clodsire. The opponent playing the new meta already. Trainer, it's not quite there, but Clodsire's still pretty good. But apparently they don't want to play it out, so either they were triple weak to Feraligatr, or they're trying to give out a win to a legend in the making here. Champ in the making, Tamagotcha pulling off the 3-2, just what he needs to get over the edge, getting a Gligar for the road. Claiming the rewards, getting a 3011 elo. Huge congratulations, dude. Very nicely done. This team actually looking pretty strong, and 2 very solid investments for the new season, trainers. Again, if you haven't yet, very much recommend building the Clodsire and the Feraligatr, whether it's a shadow or a non-shadow Feraligatr. I think both work out just fine here. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.